Hi, welcome to the series of reading the Bible daily in a year with
Mari?
and less. So let's get to it. Today we're on day 19. We're starting on Exodus chapter 5 on verse 10, and we're going to go all the way to chapter 8. All right, so in the last video, Mari nos dejó where Moses and Aaron went to talk to God, and God gave them instructions, and now they're back talking to Pharaoh, and they're telling Pharaoh that God said, let my people go so they may worship me. Well, after this happened, things got worse. The slave drivers forced the Israelites to work even harder. They were not going to give any more straw so that they could make bricks, but they still had to produce the same amount of bricks. So they basically said, y'all need to figure it out. If they couldn't produce the bricks, they were beaten. So the Israelites overseers fueron a hablar con Pharaoh y le dijeron, hey, why are you treating us this way? This isn't even our fault. Your people are not giving us straws, and then we're still getting beat up. But Pharaoh did not care. He told them, y'all are lazy. All y'all want to do is go worship God. So the leaders se salieron. Les cayó el 20. Pharaoh was not going to listen to them. Basically, they said, we're cooked. So they run into Moses and Aaron outside, and they were so angry at them. They told Moses and Aaron, may the Lord judge you. You have made us hated by Pharaoh. Han puesto nuestras vidas en danger. Moses regresó back con Dios y le dijo, Lord, why did you send me? Things are worse now. I spoke to Pharaoh and nothing has changed. You have not rescued your people at all. Okay, so now we move on to Exodus 6. So now God speaks to Moses and he tells Moses, this is what I'm about to do. Pharaoh thinks he's in control, but nope, it's me. Con mi poder, he's going to have to let my people go because he's going to find out that I am Lord. Y Dios le recuerda a Moses, I am the same God of Abraham, of Isaac, and Jacob. I made a promise and I never forget my promises. Después Dios le dice algo bien beautiful. Le dice, I have heard my people crying. I have seen their suffering. I have remembered my covenant. So then God makes big promises to Moses. He says, I will rescue my people. I will free them from slavery. I will be their God and I will bring them back to the promised land. I am the Lord, he says. Basically, God is saying, esto ya se acabó. I'm stepping in. Watch out. So Moses goes back and tells the people everything God said, but they're not listening. They're tired. They're too broken. They're like, look, you keep saying all these things and nothing is happening. So then Moses goes to tell Pharaoh what God told him. Let my people go. So at this point, Moses is feeling a little afraid and insecure. And he addressed that with God. And he said, Lord, I don't speak good. If the Israelites didn't listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me since I speak with faltering lips? Ahora la Biblia nos da una lista de nombres de la familia de Moses y de Aaron. Ellos vienen de la tribu de Levi. I think this is to show us that Moses and Aaron are just ordinary people, just like you and me, that God is using for his purpose. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Exodus 7. So Dios le dice a Moses que a él lo ha hecho como God y que a Aaron lo ha hecho como su prophet. God warns Moses that Pharaoh is going to refuse, that he's not going to let his people go. So then God is going to use his power through miracles and plagues to show Moses that he is the true God. So ya regresa Moses and talks to Pharaoh, right? And says, God told me to tell you to let my people go. And Pharaoh's like, okay, well, give me a sign that God is really saying this. So Aaron tira su staff y se convierte en una snake. But Pharaoh's like, I got my own magicians. They're going to do the same thing. And they do it. But then Aaron's snake se come las snakes de los magicians. This is to prove that, hey, my God is stronger. Y Pharaoh, terco, he refuses to listen. Now God sends his first plague. He's going to turn the Nile River into blood. Fish die, todo huele feo. The Egyptians can't drink the water. Hay sangre en todo Egypt. But Pharaoh's magicians copy the plague. But the Bible tells us that Pharaoh does not care. That his heart is so hardened that he gets up, turns around, walks in, and ignores God. He goes into his palace like, okay, big deal. So now we're going to move to Exodus 8. The Lord is telling Moses one more time, go back to Pharaoh and tell him that I said, let my people go so they may worship me. And if he doesn't listen, I'm going to send a plague of ranas. There's going to be ranas everywhere. El Nile se llenará de ranas. Habrán ranas en tu cama, en tu palacio, en tus ovens, en tu comida. Y'all, there's going to be ranas everywhere. But Pharaoh keeps saying no. And now the magicians copy the same plague, but now there's even more ranas. But now Pharaoh's starting to get a little scared. And he tells Moses, please make this stop. Make this stop, and I'm going to let your people go. So Moses prays to God. The ranas die. But at this point, Pharaoh changes his mind. Psych, I'm not letting your people go. And this is where we're stopping. You're going to have to come back tomorrow for day 20. What are we going to be reviewing tomorrow, Mari?
Tomorrow we're going to do Exodus chapter 8, starting at verse 16 all the way to chapter 11, stopping at verse 10.
Ok, amigos, no se les olvide, mañana traigan su tecito
O cafecito.
Bye.
Bye.